What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation Wannabe, and I just wanted to do a quick video on who should you listen to, whether it be advice or negative comments. Now, before we get into that, I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of a backstory to this. Now, I've had another YouTube channel for a while, cooking channel. Have somewhere around 9 million views on that channel. So as you can imagine, with 9 million views, I'm accustomed to having negative comments, so those things don't bother me. Now, in terms of who you should listen to and take advice from, I'm going to say everybody, regardless of how negative it is. So before we really dig into that, just want to talk about other circumstances in life where people were negative or giving me, I'd say, negative advice or whatever. You know, when I first got in the mortgage business, people were trying to talk me out of doing that. Oh, you're not going to make any money. Oh, you're going to, living off commission, you're going to go broke, or, whatever. And you know what? Did that. Stayed in that industry for 20 years. Some of the stuff I was hearing before I got in the mortgage business, which was true, was that the attrition rate for mortgage bankers is higher than that of the Navy SEALs by double. You will have more people drop out of the mortgage business within the first year than will drop out of Navy SEALs, doubled. So, I did that for 20 years. As a matter of fact, is this camera not all that good? Maybe I should walk the other direction. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. As a matter of fact, where's my house at? My dogs. I took my dogs out this morning. My house is a little bit over here. Took my dogs out this morning. There was a deer laying in the grass. And it was dark outside. My dogs didn't know what was going on, but the deer got up and started running away. Kind of scared my dogs a little bit. But I'm going to say listen to all this advice. So, when I first got in the mortgage business, there's a good 3-month period of time that I wasn't making any money, almost didn't have any prospect of making any money, and I was about to give up. The one thing that kept me going was all the negativity that people were giving me, saying I wasn't going to make it when I first got into it. And it's kind of the same now. I have people saying, oh, this business isn't for you, or you're not going to make it. Well, first I had people saying I wasn't going to make it 6 months. Now people are saying I'm not going to make it a year. And those are the people that I listen to. Not that I've had any tough times that are going to make me want to quit yet. But that's who I listen to whenever I kind of would be wavering on that situation or something like that. As a matter of fact, there's my house right back. Well, you can't really see it, but the deer was laying like right around in here. Anyway, so that's one thing. So I've always used those negative comments, things like that, to kind of fuel me a little bit. When I first got into, after I bought a couple properties, nobody was really saying it. But when I bought the first property, everybody was, not everybody. There were people that were, oh, you shouldn't be renting. Oh, that's the quickest way to go broke. People are going to tear up your house. Don't do that. I've had a rental property, the one that I still have, because I sold another one. The one that I have still, I've had that since 2004. And everybody that was saying, that I was going to go broke, or, it wasn't a good move, most of those people aren't still around for me to say, that was an excellent move. Wish I'd have bought 2 or 3 of them at the time. So, how that applies to trucking is, first of all, like I said, I've had people say, oh, you're not going to make it, 6 months. You're not going to make it a year. Or when I say I'm going to go lease, I'm stupid for going lease. You know what? Been a lot of positive comments as well. But sometimes it's those negative comments that are going to fuel you even more than the positive comments. So, If anybody's leaving a negative comment on any of my videos, I would just hope that they realize that that's going to be used more as fuel to propel me than it is burn me down. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that this trucking thing, like I said, this is, I plan on doing this just long enough to do a few things I need to do to set me up. Maybe buy another investment property, something like that. I'm not talking about making this a long run, maybe 10 years at the most. But, and maybe not even that long. I'm trying to shut this down. I'll be 51 here. And, another little over a month. Done pretty well as far as financially, things like that go. So, I'm just really trying to set things up for the final chapter in life. But, really, I guess my main point is, if you're coming into trucking, or even if you've been in trucking, I've seen, people that are been in trucking for years that are trying to start their own fleet. Then you got a bunch of people that have never started their own fleet telling them why they shouldn't start a fleet. If I'm going to listen to somebody, I'm going to listen to somebody that's been there, not somebody that hasn't been there. And that's what it seems like a lot of the negative comments are from people that haven't done whatever it is that the person is doing that they're leaving the comment about. One of the negative videos that I had, as a matter of fact, let me turn back around since I'm in a little bit of shade, is that, when I mentioned I was going to go lease, I had a lot of people that hadn't gone lease, talk negative about that. And, actually there were a few that had, and everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different. How am I going to, a lease for me may be different than a lease for somebody else. Somebody else needs to be honest with you, if I break even on a lease, it's not going to be the end of the world. I don't need to make the same amount of money that a lot of people need to make. I don't need to make, $2,000 a week. If I even made $500 a week, that's going to be enough. Is that my goal? No. But because of some of the smart decisions that I made, listening to some of the actual good advice in my life, I'm at a point where I don't necessarily need to be making a whole bunch of money right now. So it's kind of a little bit of a rant video. I'm kind of sorry about that, but just some of this negative stuff that's coming on from people that, don't really know. Well, people that are given advice that maybe shouldn't be given advice, or that don't know what my personal situation is, that feel that they know what's better for me than I do. Just felt like it was time to just address that just a little bit. So now that that's out of the way, just to kind of get back on topic, listen to everybody. Listen to the good advice, bad advice, form your own opinion, and use those negative comments to fuel you and propel you when it's time to give up. One of the hardest things about me becoming a truck driver, especially going to truck driving school, was that I had to put myself in a different mindset. I had to kind of look at it almost like when I went in the Marine Corps. When I went in the Marine Corps, I kind of almost looked at that like there was a no option kind of a thing. Like I had to get it done. Whether truck driving worked out then or worked out now or worked out in the future, I'm going to be fine either way. I don't necessarily need to be a truck driver. But in order for me to in order for me to have myself in the right mind frame to go through this and all the stuff that I was dealing with, I had to put myself in the mind frame that it was something that I had to do, because it would have just been easy, when I was out on that pad in 30-degree weather with snow and rain to just say, fuck it. You know, I don't need this shit. But it was that mindset that kind of kept me going. And now what's keeping me going is a lot of the negative comments about, you know, I'm not going to make it in trucking in general, or I'm not going to make it as a lease, you know, driver, or whatever those, you know, circumstances are. I mean, I haven't lived, well, primarily the last, you know, 30 years, or let's say 25 years, I haven't lived the roughest life in the world, but, you know, there was a time that, you know, my early mid-20s that I was so broke that I was trying to feed a cat dog food. So, you know, it's not like I haven't dealt with any adversity, and you know, I'll use those same skills to get through that, or this that I did back then, even though I don't think it's going to be to the same degree. I do appreciate you guys listening to me throw this rant out there right quick. For anybody that has any negative comments or anything like that, you know, I'm kind of a put my money where my mouth is kind of person. And if anybody would think that I'm not going to make it a year, or, you know, a year with Prime, which would be, my year would be officially up in like April 1st, or a year from now, I would be more than happy to take all that money. We could make bets on that just to keep things a little bit interesting. Anyway, I'll run back in here. Been putting off cutting this hair down a little bit, but I am going to knock that out. Go buy some stuff for some videos I got coming up. Thinking about doing like a brown butter fish or something like that tonight. We'll see. Anyway, I do want to thank you guys for stopping by. No Hippie Trucking and Transportation Wannabe. Keep that shit positive, and I'm out.